Welcome back, everyone, to a video not in Emacs today. I apologize for this big white screen here, but it may be worth it because I'm talking about a program called Freeplane, which is some free and open source software that you might be interested in. And it's used to create mind maps. If you've never created a mind map, you might be familiar with the concept. It's um, it's a kind of knowledge management system, I guess they call it, where you develop a a topic or an idea by creating associations between different nodes that are related to the idea. So a good way to demonstrate it might be to just jump right in. The program Freeplane might be in whatever software repository you use for your Linux distro, or you might be able to find a compiled version for Windows or Mac. But basically, yeah, I used apt, so it's definitely in that repository. And it's pretty simple. You basically open up the program and you create a new mind map, like a new document. And then you start off with this. You can click outside of the main central topic here and click and drag it around. Very clicky and draggy. It's got a basic GUI here. But if you go ahead and I believe you're automatically selecting this central topic, you can hit the Enter key and start setting up, the subnodes basically. So actually, I'm going to hit Escape, and we're going to start. Let's say well, what's the topic here? Let's say going on trip. So vacation, let's say. So what are some things associated with vacation? So hit Enter, and book flight. Uh, book hotel room. Uh, Packing. Pets. What to do with your pets? What will you be packing? Booking the hotel room, booking the flight. So all of these, can be. These are all ideas that are related to vacation, time off work, and you can just kind of free associate and brainstorm things. And I think what a lot of people do is what I'm doing here is they don't start doing much with these until they've listed a good amount of things. I think you can actually keep going in this one area. Let's see, what else would you pick? Let's say, I don't know, food. And then I think if you go back to the main, I'm just using the arrow keys to get around. If you go back here and then hit Enter, I think it can start building things up on the other side as well. But maybe one side is good enough. Well, why not? Let's try going to the other side. I'm not sure how it determines, why it would. I guess because it doesn't have any option right here. You've already gone to the right, so if you go back to the topic and hit Enter again, it'll go to the left, I presume. Yeah, so and that's fine. I think we'll actually just stay on this side. So once you've listed out a bunch of, I guess you'd call these child nodes, or branches of the tree, you can start developing these more by hitting the Insert key. If you keep hitting Enter, it'll keep creating them on this level. So you might call this level 1, level 2. So by now, you can just start hitting the Insert key. So packing, clothes, toiletries, stuff like that. Book hotel room. So I would say, why don't you create a node called accommodations, and then you can drag book flight, click and drag to booking the flight in the hotel room under accommodations. And maybe you can just change it to flight, pardon my messy typing, and hotel. So now you can kind of go through and you can just start refining these a little bit. So, taking time off work. So you might put that under, Well, actually, why don't we try this? Before you leave. So before you leave for the trip, you might want to put in for time off work, or basically, yeah. So you can kind of decide. You get all the kind of the stuff out of your head. This is something we talk about a lot on this channel with org mode and other things. Getting the stuff out of your head and getting it into a system where you can start to work on it. And a few things that are interesting is there's different views. So like if you worked on this and you prefer to see it like an outline view, it kind of orients it vertically like this, which is kind of interesting. This is like a traditional mind map, which is cool. And it's nice that it automatically applies different colors. I think that's part of the mind map methodology, is that it recommends that. And one other thing I find helpful, if you right click, you have an option here to display the note panel. This is interesting if you're working on a project where you feel like you might need to go into more depth about some of these things. So, for example, I guess if you wanted to list out clothes, I guess you could create. I just collapsed this node here. You can collapse them by clicking plus and minus. You can actually maybe start listing your clothes as subnodes, but maybe that would start to look cluttered. So you could actually just, as you're clicking on clothes, come down here to the note panel and like just create like a bullet list. Actually, I guess you can create rich notes. So you can say, shirts, underwear, socks, whatever you're going to be packing. Oh, let me just save this. Well, do I want to save it? I guess it saves it automatically. So, actually, no, I probably don't need to save this because it's just a demo. But yeah, so I find, and you'll see that now there's a little notes icon on this note here, so you can write under what these things are about. So actually here, I'd say you can move pets over to before, because and maybe you could put in the phone number of the person who's going to be taking care of the pets, the pet babysitter or whatever you need, to get yourself organized. Now that has a note. So I think, this is something, this is an interesting program. For people who prefer doing things in Emacs or the command line, this might not be your preferred style of working, but I think this is something worth exploring as a way of just getting some ideas out of the head and kind of brainstorming a little bit and figuring out what you want to do. So yeah, Freeplane, I think it's an interesting piece of software. There's a lot you can do to actually like really develop this. Like they have a tutorial. I think if you click on it, you can kind of see an example of all the things you can do. Like it can get, let's actually close the note panel. You see, you can add images. You can have free floating nodes here. You can have a cloud. This cloud has different stuff inside of it. So you can get pretty detailed. I find this a little tough to do anything with because it's a little overwhelming. And if you're not too familiar with the program yet, yeah, this can look a little overwhelming. There's just a lot of stuff to click and progress. That's interesting. So is that like a progress indicator? Well, anyway, there's lots of stuff to explore in here, but I find the just the base functionality that you get by creating a mind map like this and kind of organizing different things to do can be definitely an interesting way of figuring out, what you're trying to accomplish and what your next action might be in GTD terminology. So that's it there. I'm going to close this here and get away from this bright white screen here. I bet you can actually change that background color, but that's outside of the scope of this video. Yeah, so if you found this helpful, thanks for watching, and have a good one. I'll see you all next time.